It's often hard to figure out how to find balance on an issue. This is even more difficult when it comes to the health and wellness of our children. On this NSP short, Tim Fleiszer provides his thoughts on how to keep kids active in sports and reduce the risk of concussions.
So sports are wonderful. Our messaging, we are not discouraging sports participation in any way, shape, or form. It's the opposite. We're encouraging sports participation. The wonderful benefit there, wonderful opportunity for personal development. What needs to happen from a policy standpoint is to not expose kids, particularly under the age of 12, to repetitive head impacts. So think heading in soccer, think tackling in football. Fortunately, Hockey Canada, shortly after the Sidney Crosby concussion, raised the age of body checking in hockey. But really, any place where kids are exposed to repetitive head impacts. So from a sport perspective, my kid, I'll speak for my kids, and I've got 8-year-old Dougie, 6-year-old Solomon, and 2-year-old Abraham, and they all came out of the womb contact sports athletes. Like, they are high energy, physical kids. Doug and Solly both play hockey, but no heading in soccer. Right, and unfortunately, like, the U.S. has banned that under the age of 12 since 2015. The U.K. Restricted headers for youth a couple of years ago, and so far, unfortunately, in Canada, we haven't done anything. So that's one of the big things we want to see from a policy change standpoint, is not exposing kids to headers. And then my kids are playing flag football, and if they choose, and I just want them to be happy. I want them to do whatever they want. There's no pressure on them at all. But if they want to play, they can play later in life when they're teenagers, when their bodies have matured and they're more able to withstand the impacts. And then even when that happens, you got to make sure that you got a coach that's going to minimize hitting in practice. It's Ken Dryden said it very well. He says, a hit to the head is never a good thing. And so for coaches everywhere, the big message is there's going to be hits in football. There's going to be body checking in hockey. There's going to be tackling in rugby. And there's going to be some form of heading in soccer. But I think we all need to be working together in the sports community to minimize those things. Right? And if somebody... what our data shows is that for a kid who started playing football at 5 years old versus a kid who started at 14-year-old, the 5-year-old is 10 times more likely to develop CTE. So in so long as you're not exposing your children to head impacts, and I think the magic number is certainly 12 years old, but we recommend 14 just to be on the safe side. And I think there probably does need to be some sort of gradual introduction to contacts. Actually, one of the projects that I'm working on right now is what that would look like. That's my big advice to parents, is by all means have your kids participate in these sports. Just don't expose them too early to head impacts. And then once they are teenagers, make sure that those coaches aren't exposing them to excess impacts that are unnecessary.